What up, JB? We're doing a little. I'm watching the Gators get fucked, but we're doing a little guitar lesson. So we talked about the pentatonic scale, right? The little. Right? It's an E minor. We talked about bar chords. One thing that I find interesting is when you're barring a chord, it's always going to be in an E shape, right? So if we're thinking about barred chords, that E shape is the same here, but right, you're barring that shit, basically, right? But that means that you can now start that, like, you could start that scale because you know where the root note is, right? Because this scale that we're playing here, terrible fingerings, just ignore that. But that scale here is movable all over the neck because we know the root note right there. That's the bass note. That's an E. And then E standard. That's the whole thing. But if we want to play something in A, bar chord with that same shape, we just move to the bar chord of that note that you want to play with, which is A in this case. So we're playing a bar chord on the 5th fret, and pay attention to the shape here, right? Starting the 10, we're going, or starting the E, we're going from 5 to, what is that? 8. We're going 5 to 8. I'm fucking cooked. 5, 8. The same shape as before. So that is literally this. Except pretend that this nut is where your finger is now. So if that, that's basically the 3rd fret if we were pretending. So if you want to practice that shit all the time, fucking it'll get you good. And like what I just did, you could do different. I did different practice techniques. Also, use your pinky. Fuck you. Use your pinky. Can I do both? Fuck you. Use your pinky. You want pinky dexterity. Like long term, it's just a good thing you practice, bro. Like it sucks, but it's gonna make you better. But with that hoe, we can literally move that bitch everywhere. And whenever you play that, that's technically a minor scale, so keep that in mind. It's technically a minor scale. I want to get into the major pentatonic scale, right? And I don't even know, I think it kind of sucks to play in the open position, I'm not going to lie. So we're just going to stay in the key of A. We're going to see if I can remember what the fucking numbers of the frets are, but let's try it. So our root note, right? We're on the 5th fret of the E. That's our A, right? That's an A major, right? If you want to make it minor, you just take your finger off. So that's A minor, same chord. Right? And that's the A minor pentatonic. Now we're going to switch to the major, which is... So it's a lighter, happier vibes. It starts on the 5, 5, 7, 4, 7, 4, 7, 4, 6, 5, 7, 5. And then you can hit that on the end. But that's your A, right? Same note. So going down, it sounds... You finish that one. But there's a big trick with this one, JB. This is a secret that I learned recently that is absolutely fucking amazing. That scale that I just showed you, it's kind of annoying to play. You gotta use your pinkies a lot, and it's not the regular shape, right? So how cool would it be, hear me out, if we already could use that shape that we know with the E minor for the A major? I just phrased that wrong. The same fucking, this scale. Wouldn't it be nice if we could use that? Well, buddy boy, we can, right? So basically, I want you to think, we're going to talk about positioning and hand positioning, because different positions of your hand on the neck are going to determine the kind of scales and the shapes and the chords that you can play in certain areas. So we're going to be kind of shifting our hands backwards. We're going to try to think of it that way, but right, so we've got the major pentatonic scale with the root note on the 5. This thing, the annoying one. So if you shift your hands back, right, and you keep your pinky on the 5, because we're using our pinkies, and then, ring 4, 3, 2, right? That's our A note, that's still our bass. But then keep your hands in this shape and literally play the other scale that we did before. And you finish on the 5. It's the same shape. You literally just shift your hand back, right? You just have to remember to start, because if you start here, technically that's in the scale, but it's not an A. This is an F sharp. So it's not technically, that's not our root note. So you want to finish and start on the 5 when shifting your hand back, because these are your root notes now. You're just behind it in terms of the scale that is typical for that. So, and that also means if you just know that trick, you can learn that trick, and then you've got, like, you could scale all the way from the 2nd fret all the way up to the 7th. Like this whole area of the neck is unlocked basically for scales and riffs and whatever you want to fucking do. And then if you think about that in terms of the neck, you can then transport that whole thing down here, and it works the fucking same. The 2. When you want to get high with it, fucking do it. It's literally the whole neck. This is how you unlock, like, scaling across the neck in the same key. Because, like, there's so much to work with, but if you're just boxed here, it just kind of sucks. And I mean, and that works. So to give another example of how that works, that's our D on the E string. So D bar chord looks like this. It's on the, what is that, 10th fret. All the same chord. D, D, right? And that works the same way too. So if you start with your root note on the pinky, which is the 10th fret, so you see what I'm doing there? It's the E minor pentatonic. It's the pentatonic scale that you're thinking of when you think of the blues. But because of where you're playing it on the neck, it makes it a major pentatonic, which means it's not like bluesy in a sense. It's like happier. I call it the Jack Rizzo effect, because that's basically what it is. That's the key that he's using when he does this, like, Can't You See solo. That literally in D, so. Jack do it? I don't really know. I don't practice his playing. But that's it, man. I don't know. That's the biggest thing that I've learned that you should know. So, enjoy.